Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello and welcome to Intentional Productivity Tips. My name is Megan. I am your very favorite strategic productivity partner, and I am so glad you are here today. Today we're going to talk about something that is timely because it's about December. Today we are going to talk about Shine Through December. We are going to talk about your productivity plan. We want December to shine and sparkle as a month. And so in order for that to happen, there's some things we need to do to be intentional to take control of our productivity and so that our expectations meet those that we set. You are watching me on Intentional Productivity Tips. I am on every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific. You can find me on USA Global TV and Radio. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and even be notified on our YouTube channel whenever new episodes drop. Also, check out our YouTube channel. There's some great episodes. There's some great other shows and content that you can watch so that you can become your best self. But let's start by talking about today. Let's start by talking about how we can be intentional with our productivity so that we can make December shine. I have a slideshow that I'm going to share right now. So I'm going to share my camera. Okay. And I've got my slideshow right now. Okay. So as I mentioned, our goal today is to talk about shining through December, our productivity plan. Today, to do that, we're going to talk about three things. We're first going to start with talking about December's balancing act. We're going to talk about focus areas for a bright December. And then this week's productivity quick tip, which I think you'll like because it's about how to avoid being in a frenzy. Actually, not how to avoid, but how to get out of a frenzy. But let's start with our December balancing act. When we think about it this month, there's a lot going on. We've got a lot to do in our personal lives. We have holidays, things that we're celebrating. It's the end of a year. And so there's just a lot of things that are happening this month. When you think about it, I would like for you to just picture December, and I would like for you to picture what about you and let's say you're a juggler, right? Let's say you're a circus and you're at a circus, you're performing as a juggler. I want you to picture yourself juggling your work tasks, juggling holiday fun, juggling things for yourself, juggling work tasks, juggling things for yourself, juggling holiday fun. As you close your eyes and picture yourself juggling all of the things that are coming up over December, how do you feel? We want to make sure your December is filled with productivity and harmony. So as I talk about what we're juggling in December and the things that we're juggling, when you're thinking about how that is for you, it might have been a good feeling and it might not have been a good feeling. What we want to do is we want to get it to a good feeling for everybody. So as we're thinking about our December balancing act, we want to identify what can we do to make December bright. You all have heard me talk about my take on the Franklin-Covey triquesion before. You all have heard me talk about my take on the Franklin-Covey triquesion that talks about how three very important elements are interconnected, specifically event control, focused productivity, and self-belief. So if we are in control of an event, we know what's going on. And I'm not talking about control freak control. I am talking about an event. We know events coming up. We know everything about it, or we know the time. We know what's going on with the event. We're in control of our information and we're prepared for the event. If we've got that, and then we take on our focused productivity, where we're giving ourselves time to be focused and productive on that event. And if we have self-belief that that's going to happen, when all of those three things, when we have event control, focused productivity, and self-belief, there's going to be a positive spiral. Now, if we take one of those out, if we take focused productivity out, if we only have event control and self-belief, we're not going to be spiraling in a positive way. So as we're talking about balancing and juggling things, we need to remember that all three things are important. We need to have control of the event, we need to have focused productivity, and we need to have self-belief. So when we're thinking of juggling in the month of December, we think of work tasks, we think of holiday fun, and we think of you. If we think of event control, focused productivity, and self-belief, we're going to be able to change our perspective and be in control of December. So how do we do that? This says four, but we're going to have three focus areas for a bright December. Our three focus areas for a bright December are going to be that we're planning for December 2024, we're closing out 2024, and we're being present for ourselves. So in order for us to have a bright and shiny December where we are meeting our expectations of what we finish, what we get done, and how we feel during the month, we need to do these three things. So let's take a look at them right now. Let's talk about how can we plan for December of 2024. Again, it comes back to setting realistic expectations for your time and focus. So we want to get clear on our December goals. I would suggest spend some time identifying what are the goals for December. What do you want to accomplish? Whether it's work, whether it's celebrations, whatever it is, what are the things you want to do? And then break your plans down into actionable tasks and set time blocks for each. So for example, if you have a goal in December of volunteering and you know you want to do a 4-hour block of volunteering, you probably need to schedule that on your calendar pretty soon. And so what you want to identify is once you have your goals and your tasks, you want to take that next step of not just saying, hey, I've got what they are, but you set the expectations and then you turn them into action and focus by saying, okay, we're going to break this down. For example, if you have gifts that you need to buy, you might need to purchase the gifts, wait for them to be shipped, go pick them up, wrap them. All of those steps, it's not a one and done activity. So you, again, as you're looking at what you need to accomplish in December, maybe you're going to have a holiday meal and you're having people over. Again, you need to break it down, identify what is the menu? Do you need to go shopping? Are there specific foods? How long is it going to take? I will be honest with you. I once had a client who was going to make her very first, she had a group of people over. She was doing a holiday dinner. And she was also decided even though it was Christmas, she wanted to do a turkey. It was more of a holiday party in December. She wanted to do a turkey, but she did not allow long enough for the turkey to cook. And so it was a fun memory for everybody because they had to DoorDash food and that was an option. But again, it was a great reminder to me that maybe I could have asked her, maybe one of the things she should have thought about is how do I need to map everything out, especially if it's not something I've done before. And I'll tell you, having not being a cook, I would have to map that out too. So you want to break your plans into actionable tasks. Again, all of these things are setting your expectations. Once you realize it's a process, it's going to take time, you're going to need to think about it. You then have you're realizing you are setting yourself up for success. Tip, write everything down, add it to your calendar or to-do list. So in December, especially this December, let's make a habit of once we identify tasks, we calendar it and we add it to our to-do lists. So the first step is planning for December. The second thing we talked about is we also need to close out 2024. So I'm going to call upon some of my favorite wise philosophers in sync and say, how are we going to say bye to this year? We want to be intentional about it because we know that as January 1st comes in, we have things that we might need to close out. So now, if you have not already, now is the time to say what needs to be wrapped up. Are there work projects? Are there financial projects? Are there accountings? Are there things you need to spend? Are there receipts? Are there things you need to be able to capture or do before December 31st? If so, you want to make sure that you've got that, again, planned and calendared. Once you identify all of the things to do to close out 2024, create a checklist of items, complete it. And again, here's what I'm going to say it again, add task time and identify how long it's going to take. It's a common thing that I say, but if we need to close out the year, that does have an end date, right? We have a very firm at 12:01 on January 1st, 2025. 24 is done. We have to finish things out. So it's important between now and then to identify and be specific and clear, set realistic expectations. The tip is to break the tasks into manageable steps and add them to your calendar for easy tracking. It's important to do that. So not only do we need to plan for December and we need to close out for 2024, the third thing we need to do, our focus area to make December bright, is being present for ourselves. It's important to be present for ourselves and to identify what's a time that we can take care of ourselves. When is a time we can reflect? We can do something for ourselves. How can we make space for ourselves during the holiday? Let's be honest. If you're in the United States, last week you celebrated Thanksgiving. Now, whether you spent time with family, friends, yourself, whatever you did, last week was a very different week than this week, right? Because we had time off, different things like that. One of the things also that I've learned and have heard from several of my clients already this week is last week might have taken a lot of energy on some people. Being around people and having family and friends and trying to finish work things, that took a lot of energy out of them. So one of the things I've realized this week is that a lot of my clients and two specific clients, both we talked about, okay, what are you doing for you? You've done a lot of things for everybody else. Let's look at where is your energy bank, right? We all have a bank with our energy. And so during the holidays, we need to make sure during all the time, but specifically now, we need to make sure that energy bank is full. As I mentioned, several of my clients, their energy banks are not full right now. And so what I told them is before we move forward with holidays, we need to fill your energy bank. How do we do that? Maybe you take some time and sleep in one morning. Maybe you go to a day spa. Maybe you take a day off. One of my clients is going golfing tomorrow. So again, it's identifying what can we do to be present for ourselves. We need to plan our you time just like any other time to ensure we give ourselves rest. So it is important, especially now, as always, to be present for ourselves. Also to ask yourself, where am I with my energy bank right now? And so once you know that, you're able to figure out how to fill it up so that you're ready for the rest of the month and to close out 2024. At the beginning, we talked a little bit about our balancing act. We talked about balancing our work tasks. We talked about balancing you, and we talked about balancing our holiday fun. As I've just shared with you, 3 specific ways that we can improve our balancing for December. One of the things we want to do, we want to design our experience. So to do that, we want to talk about setting our expectations with how we're planning December, with being present for you, and when we're closing 2024. So as we think of that beginning and we're thinking of all of the things that we need to get done right now, shopping, presents, preparing to travel, closing out finances, closing out files, closing out a project. As we're thinking of all of those things, we don't want to have the stress that we had at the beginning. We want to realize that a peace-filled December is the best gift you can give yourself. It's where joy, productivity, and rest all come together. The goal is that we've identified a way that we can make our month and our year, the end of our year, better for ourselves. If we think and we set expectations for a bright and shining month, it will happen. Let's talk a little bit about our productivity quick tip for the week. And this is one that I think is timely every week. And I think this might be able to be a productivity quick tip every week. But it is about finding the calm amid the chaos. What I want to ask you to consider for a moment is, what do you do when your mind starts to spin? You know what I'm talking about. You know, your mind is going 100 miles per hour. You have a lot of things that you're thinking about and it doesn't slow down. I always like to call that our mind frenzy, right? Our productivity frenzy. So it's important to realize the power of recognizing the frenzy. So this week's productivity quick tip is recognizing the power of the productivity frenzy and what we can do about it, how we can find calm amid the chaos. I have a 3-step approach for you on how to find that. First, you want to recognize the frenzy. So when there is chaos going on and it is impacting us, our minds, how we're able to get things done, how we're finding things, let's be honest. Have you ever had that feeling when, again, your mind is racing, you have a project you need to finish, it's a deadline that's this afternoon, you need to find a file, you're scrolling, you're looking, and your frustration is off the charts? At that moment, it's most important. You need to find the document, but you need to find your calm in the chaos even first. Because once you have calm in the chaos, then you'll be able to be in a different place to be able to find the document and get whatever done. So step 1, recognize the frenzy. And for me, it's a point where I will often say to myself, I don't like how I'm feeling right now. And so when we're in that frenzy moment, the first step is to acknowledge when your mind is in overdrive. You might notice that you're taking shallow breaths. You might notice the roof is at the top of your mouth. You might notice that your shoulders are hunched. You're switching between tasks. You're not focused. You're looking at random things. Maybe you're picking up the phone and doom scrolling. When you catch yourself in this state, the first thing you need to do is slow down. The tip, take a moment to pause and mentally check in with yourself. Notice where the tension is in your body and what thoughts are flooding your mind. At that moment, drop the tongue, drop the shoulders, move the shoulders. Take attention to what you're doing, because step 2 is to identify. Once you've identified the frenzy, you need to start your 3-step plan. Once you recognize it, what are the 3 things you're going to do? And I'll tell you the 3 things for me. I pause. I stop doing everything. I put everything down. I'm not holding my phone. I try and step away, even slide back from my laptop. So nothing, I pause and I'm doing nothing. Second, breathe. A deep, slow, intentional breath from your belly. Take a deep breath in from your nose and then out through your mouth. Start breathing normally, or start breathing slower than those short, shallow breaths you were taking. Because once we pause and catch our breath, we're able to refocus our mind. Ask ourselves, what's the most important thing I can do right now? Narrow your focus on that one task you need to do right now. When things are frenzied and it's chaos, you don't want to continue down that path. We all know that. We've all experienced that, right? So once we identify it, we need to identify our 3-step plan. And as I said, for me, I pause, I breathe, I refocus. My recommendation to you, find what plan works for you. This is where you have to be selfish, because you have to find what works for you. So find how you've stopped. Now, what are the next steps you're going to take? Decide your 3-step plan. And then after that, so for me, again, I stop, I breathe, and I refocus. Then after that, I can move into step 3, which is being present. So after completing, again, after I've completed my 3-step plan, so I'm focused, then I know it's time to be present. And so I want to complete my 3-step plan so my mind has time to slow down. I'm allowing focus on just one thing at a time, whether it's work or relaxation. My focus is regained, and I'm regaining control over my time. The goal is to make productivity more effective and our moments of rest more peaceful. And so what we want to do, and this week's productivity quick tip, is about finding calm amid the chaos. It doesn't happen just during 1 month, unfortunately, but as our life speeds up, as there's more we need to do, there's going to be more chaos. So we need to take time and find out how we can find calm in the chaos. Find what brings you peace, helps you focus, and then make it your own. Identify what works for you. So today we have talked about how we can shine through December, what we can do with our productivity plan. As you know, each and every week, my goal is that you learn one thing that you can implement into your life today. One thing that's going to make your productivity and help you take control of your productivity. So we talked about our December balancing act. Do not be the person that is at the beginning that is juggling craziness and you don't have a plan for it. Take time to find your focus areas for a bright December. Close out your 2024. Plan for December and be present for yourself. And then we also talked about our weekly productivity quick tip. When we're in a frenzy, how can we stop? How can we connect with our focus? And how can we be present and do one thing at a time? I am Megan. I am your favorite strategic productivity partner. And I want to thank you for spending time with me today, as you do every Wednesday. Again, you can find me on USA Global TV and Radio. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and be notified of my new episode and all of the ones that are out there. My goal for you is to work together so that you can take control of your productivity, so you can change your relationship with how you get things done, so that you love the life that you have worked so hard to create. Again, I'm Megan, your favorite strategic productivity partner. I will be here next Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific. You make this a great rest of your week. And now a word from our sponsors.
USA Global TV and Radio proudly presents our partner and sponsor, Mr. Philip Sykes and the British School of Excellence. Building confidence, changing lives. And now, proudly presenting the Polished Professional.
On a transformative journey with the British School of Excellence's comprehensive suite of masterclasses, crafted to elevate your professional and personal life. 8 outstanding modules will elevate you to the next level. Module 1, Exploring Life's Purpose, delves into the depths of self-discovery, guiding you to chart your unique path to fulfillment and success. Module 2, Mastering Professional Presence and Confidence. This masterclass is a deep dive into the art of self-assurance and commanding presence, which is essential for standing out in today's competitive landscape. Module 3, Learn the secrets of visual impact, how to curate a personal style that amplifies your professional brand. Module 4, Mastering Professional Etiquette and Communication Excellence, navigating the nuances of corporate interaction with grace and tact. Module 5, Elegance in Eloquence. We impart powerful techniques to captivate and persuade any audience with your oratory skills. Module 6, Unlock the potential of your emotional intelligence, EQ, and harness the ability to connect, empathize, and lead with emotional savvy. Module 7, Mastering DISC, building a gateway to understanding behavioral styles, fostering better personal and professional relationships. Module 8, Mastery in Dining Etiquette, building your confidence to perfect the subtleties of dining with finesse, enhancing your social savviness at any table. Step into the Polished Professional program where poise, elegance, and excellence aren't just taught, they're instilled for life. Join us to redefine your potential and polish your professional edge.
To learn more, go to thebritishschoolofexcellence.com. The British School of Excellence are investors in people. Let us invest in you.